That's a fun story. I was actually wanting to talk about this.
Okay, tell me.
The very first time we ever met.
Oh, this was great.
I was so terrified.
Mark planned this meticulously.
No, don't do that.
Does he not know? Have you not heard this story? Because I've heard the story from. I'll tell the Miles version, and you tell your version.
But you just do it like Miles.
Oh yeah, I got that. Shout out Miles, the legend, the camp legend.
Oh yeah, let's get a fuck Miles in the chat if you guys don't mind.
Fuck Miles.
Yeah. The chat's going crazy. Right
Miles
now.
is a absolute saint. Miles can do no wrong.
I will say Miles has gotten more into public infrastructure ever since that window of time. I've known this guy almost 10 years, and he was just kind of like a regular college guy. And in the past like 3 years, he's gotten very much into trains and stuff.
He's
you noticed this? Maybe
Dude,
I'm the only
him
one.
biting his tongue with Buttigieg the second he started talking about it was amazing. There's a moment on the episode where Miles goes, I really like trains. And then Buttigieg goes, I love trains. And then all of us went,
just pure, just raw. Just a moment of just two men just enjoying trains
just
together.
hanging.
But my version of the story.
Yes, you tell me your version.
I just walk into a comedy club. They say, "Hey, you want to jump on stage?"
Mm-hmm.
I go, no, the version of the story that's the truth.
Yeah.
March 2019.
Yeah.
I'm approaching graduation.
Yeah.
You are going to Orlando to do a show.
Yeah.
I had seen the pyramid joke on YouTube maybe 3 months prior.
Mm-hmm.
And then I binge 441, go through everything. And I was like, okay, I see what's going on. This is fire. Like, it just touched on everything that I liked. There was like cultural comedy. It was smart. It was nuanced. And then just ultimately really funny and then available. Did all the things. So I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. So I started watching it. And then I was like, if there's anyone I could open for, it'd be you. So I hit up Krista at the Orlando Improv, now the Funny Bone, renamed. And I was like, hey, yeah, they changed the name.
Oh, really? Funny Bone bought the Improv?
I don't know what happened. I don't know if they like turned it over. So what happens, you do a couple theaters, you start missing out
these things.
Start missing out on local club politics. But yeah, that's what happened. So now it's the Funny Bone. But at the time it was the Improv. And I was like, okay, I'm going to ask my one favor to try to open for someone at the club. I texted Krista. I said, is there any way I can host? Any way at all, I'll do whatever. You get like one ask like a year to like get in. Sometimes she'll just throw you up and like
Were you already hosting or featuring at the club?
Okay. Just hosting. Okay. And so, like she'll put you in rotation for random people on off nights, stuff like that. If on a weekend, you'll get like a couple a year.
Yeah.
But you get like one ask, maybe like two.
Yeah.
I never asked. And I was like, hey, this is my one time. I really would love to host.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'll get back to you. A month goes by. Now it's like 5 days before the show. She's like, I'm reaching out to their team. I don't know. There's this guy, Alex Media, that's saying stuff. We don't know exactly what's going on. And then the day of the show, she goes, hey, you're going to host. And I was like, that's crazy. And then she goes, congrats, 2 sold out shows. And I was like, I've never performed at the Improv when it was sold out. It was only off nights. And then it was like the weekends, but it would be like half full.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's crazy. So it was 2. I was opening for this guy that was coming to town that was like blowing up. I was like, this is insane. And then on top of that, sold out.
Yeah.
And so then I go, I'm sitting in the green room, and I'm like nervous as hell. I'm like trying to dress before the show. I was like, like, all my clothes are stupid. Like a New Yorker wouldn't look at this and think it was cool. So I'm like going through, I like find like a Muhammad Ali shirt. I'm like, that's kind of cool. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't know, boxing is, I don't like, he's black. I was like, I don't know. I was like, I'll just throw it on. And then I'm sitting in the green room, and then you and Alex come through so tired.
That's right. We drove down from Jacksonville. Maybe?
Yeah. I think the day before or the morning of.
Yeah.
And you guys just roll in, suitcases, the whole deal. And then you just like chill in the green room. And I just don't say a word. Just so nervous.
Did you not say anything? Did we talk to you?
It was like sort of like host headliner talk. It was like, yo, what's up? You're from the area? I was like, yeah. Like just like, it was, from my memory, it's just like very brief, sort of like interstitial stuff. And then show happens. The first show is just like normal, fine. I get off stage and Pedro Lima, a great guy from Orlando, he's featuring. And then you turn to me and you go, funny stuff. And I was like, oh, thanks, man. And then went out in the hallway and I was like, let's go. I was like fired up. And then
I didn't watch any of that shit. I feel bad. I didn't watch.
No, you watched.
Shit,
of course. You're not gonna throw out a comment. Of course, you listened the whole thing all the way through.
I'm just joking.
But it was at the time. It was great. It was.
Go on. I remember. Yes, I remember those moments, and it's
fucking liar.
No, I mean I remember the moments where like you get a compliment from a comedian that's like doing clubs or whatever like that, and you float on it for months.
Prior to that, I did a show with Mark Normand at a comedy festival, and he complimented a joke, and I was like, this is crazy. Like I listen to these guys.
Do you remember what you closed on? Like what your last joke was?
No clue.
Was it the rib joke?
I don't even know if I was doing it then. I have no idea. I have no memory of that specifically.
Yeah.
On the stage stuff, I have no memory of. It was all the backstage that I was like, this is crazy. And then the second show, a girl passes out.
Oh, had the seizure, right?
During Pedro's set.
Yeah.
And then you go and check on her, make sure she's okay.
Yeah.
And you just walked out there. I like went in and I was like, hey, there's a girl like having a medical thing. Like you can just chill here. And then you like take off your Nike jacket. And then you went out there and you make sure the girl's okay. And you're like, hey, are you okay? She's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm a big fan. She like consoles you. She's like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just going to go. And she's like, I was out at Disney. I'm tired. Like I just passed out. And then the fire department comes in.
Yeah.
And then as the fire department's in there, you just walk on stage.
Yeah.
And I almost like grabbed you. I was like, no, don't go. Don't do that. Because I was like, he doesn't know. I was like, maybe he doesn't know that they're still here in the room. So I was like, no, don't go. And then you just walk on stage and you just start making fun of the fire department.
That was fire.
And I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And then you start like just like teasing the girl a little and she's laughing on the way out. She's like waving at you. Yeah. But she like almost doesn't want to go. But the fire department's like, no, we have to stabilize you. And she's like, no, let me stay. So she's having fun. And then there's a girl in the crowd that gets mad.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the girl that was, I remember
this. A girl in the crowd's like, you shouldn't make fun of the fire department, da-da-da.
No, the girl, she was like, I shouldn't make fun of the girl who passed out. Wait, what?
She's mad at the whole situation. Yeah. She's like, don't make fun of the, like, it's too sensitive, da-da-da-da. And then you start roasting her. And you go, what's your job? What do you do? She's like, I'm a nurse.
And she didn't help.
And then you were like, well, why didn't you help?
Yeah.
And then at this point, there's like a standing ovation 5 minutes into the set that hadn't even started. The lights are still on. Like there's emergency medical professionals in the room.
That was crazy.
And it's a full-on standing ovation where like, you can see the video. It's on YouTube right here. We're going to watch a 6-minute ad before it comes on.
No.
And oh
no, I'm going to be so embarrassed. Oh, good. Thank God they're selling vacuums again.
But
yeah.
There's a full standing ovation. I'm filming it on my phone, just like, what is happening?
Yeah, that was
and
so
then
cool.
You get off stage and you were like, yeah, they're pretty good. I was like, what?
I think I kept doing the set, right?
Yeah. No, you did a full
And then I went
hour.
into the set. Oh, wow, yeah. Oh, that's right. And this guy's name is, what's his name?
Pedro Lima.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. That's a tough position to be in. Yeah. Oh, wow, it's a 10-minute clip. We were putting out crazy. Go to the middle. Go to the middle of it. Oh, God. Listen, we're not meant to watch it. You guys can watch it on YouTube. Dude, that's crazy. That was, I connected these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a wild, but sometimes those moments are, I think those moments are more fun. I mean, that when we get into these, like when we're doing theaters and stuff and arenas, it's very hard to control thousands of people.
Yeah.
But at a comedy club, when like something goes wrong, you can take 200, 400 people or whatever, and you can kind of get them all on the same page.
Yeah, that's your perspective at the time. My perspective was like, if you can control 7 people at a coffee shop, you're killing.
Yeah.
So the idea of 300 people at a comedy club and then just getting them all in the same wave to like kind of make fun of the girl that's being indignant, you know what I mean? I was like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
You want to know something crazy, yo? We went out to dinner after that. We went out to like a diner or something like that.
This is the other craziest moment of my life.
And what did you start telling us about? How Hitler was misunderstood.
No, that's not it.
This is no bullshit.
That's not it.
He started spitting crazy conspiracy theories.
He's misunderstood. He's
Amanda
worse. He's
was
worse.
out.
He's
Amanda
worse than
was
people think.
Out.
That's what it is.
But you were shooting. It was like, you were like, this is the moment. I got to let these guys know I'm down. He just made fun of a dead bitch at the show. I could talk about anything with these guys.
We got to top it, dude. I had to level up. It was your fault. But like it was.
What did you say? You had some wild shit.
Even that whole experience was crazy for me, also because you were like, "Yeah, can you drive us to the hotel?" And I was like, "Oh, I get to drive to the hotel." This like you.
No, I said you want to get some food.
Well, it evolved. Like I don't think you even realize how big it was for me. Like I'm just like a local fucking open micer in Orlando.
I know. I just fucking with you. Okay, go on.
Because you're like, yeah, just drive us to the hotel, and I was like, all right, bet. And we get my Chrysler 300. Yes, 100%. Yes, it was, bro. It was my Chrysler 300, 2010.
What did Al say? There's no way Al got in a Chrysler 300 and didn't say something about it.
He said, "Can I drive?" No, I'm driving.
Okay.
If we get in the Chrysler 300, this is the car that also always stalls out. So the whole time I'm driving, I'm just like,
don't stall.
Any minute, this car's going to stall out, and I'm going to have to restart it on the highway at any second and look like an absolute idiot. And so I'm in the car, and we put all the stuff in the back, and I was like, all right, let's go to the hotel. And then you go, well, let's eat. And we went to one place that it was fire. It's like a Puerto Rican burger spot.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let's go there. And it was closed. And I was like, you fucked it up.
So what was open?
IHOP.
That's right. And then we sat at that like center table. It was like a long table they gave us.
Yeah.
So we went to IHOP.
And then we just talked conspiracies.
For a while.
Yeah. But there was stuff even evolving in my mind that now obviously makes sense, but at the time made no sense.
Like what?
Because like I was with my wife, my girlfriend at the time.
Yeah.
And you were like, so like as a comic, like you're in college, like you dating, you talking to girls. And I was like, well, I have one girlfriend that I've been with since high school. And now I'm in my senior year of college and we've been together the whole time. Like I could see us eventually getting married one day.
Yeah.
And you were like, what? Are you guys having sex? And I was like, nah, we don't really do that. I'm Catholic. And you're like, you're a virgin?
No, I didn't judge it like
You didn't judge it, but you said, Alex said that.
Yeah, Alex said that.
Alex goes, bro, you're a virgin. And I was like, yeah, I mean, kind of, yeah. And then you made a comment. You're like, I always find these people. I collect. How do I always find people? Why do these people find? Like, what is going on? And then Alex goes, it's like Akash, and I was like, who's Akash? I was like completely oblivious.
Yeah.
And then yeah, we just did that till 3 a.m. And then Alex pointed at a guy randomly at IHOP. He was like, I think that guy has AIDS. And I was like, what?
Yo!
He was like, yeah, that guy's
do that on the road. He thought he could like sense it.
Yeah, he could smell. He's like a cat in the hospital. He's like, yeah, that guy has AIDS for sure. And he was like, I just have a feeling, dude. I don't know. And I was like, all right, the Holocaust. Like, I was like, all right, we can top that. I was like, whatever. That's not what we talked about. Okay, on the record for real, we just talked conspiracies. And then we did that till like 3 a.m. And then I dropped you guys off at the hotel, and I was just like, hey, dude, if there's anything I could do, like help, like I'll just do whatever. Can I just give you my number?
Yeah.
And then you were like, yeah, sure. And I was like, you just give me your number? That's crazy.
And then what happened?
And then I called you like, I think I texted you maybe like a couple days later. I was like, yo, thank you so much. The show was awesome, da-da-da. If there's any way I can help, I have some ideas. Maybe I could, fill in here and there. And then you're like, all right, yeah, let's talk. And then we got on the phone, and I basically gave you the pitch where I was just like, hey, can I like help out with like, I can edit a little, and I can like maybe help with like clips and stuff. And I can also like, I can help with merch. I design them for my fraternity. So like if I get the merch, maybe I can like sell them on the road. And, I can also maybe open the show, maybe just host the show because it'll add consistency to the show. That was the part where it felt like I was stretching, where I was like, there's no way he's going to go over this. I was like, dude,
I didn't have an opener at the time, huh?
No.
So I was just traveling with Alex, and then whatever openers they had at the club.
That's what I presume, yeah.
Wow.
So I was like, all right, if I can, maybe open, it might add some consistency to the show. You don't have to worry about someone before, da-da-da.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's going to see right through this. He's going to think this. He's going to be like, no way. And then you're like, yeah, let's try for a few months.
I didn't ask you to edit a clip or anything first, or you weren't cutting some clips first?
I think maybe it was like all around the same time. I was like, let me do the merch, and I can bring it to the shows, and then I can help with the clips, and then da-da-da.
How I remember it is like you were cutting some clips, and then you were coming with us on the road. When did you come on the road next?
Addison Improv.
Oh, wow.
Addison, Texas.
Yeah.
You guys went to Cleveland, and then the weekend after, you guys went to Addison.
And then you had something, you had to graduate or something, right? Didn't you have to graduate?
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to graduate.
So
I remember that.
Yeah.
And then you said you could come to New York.
Yeah.
And you would live in New York.
Yeah, I was like, for the summer, I'll go, and I'll just do whatever you guys need. I'll just down to help.
And then how'd you afford that?
I lived on Joey Rinaldi's couch.
No way.
Yeah. So I knew him from like another friend.
Was I paying you?
Yeah. I mean, that was like the deal. I was like, hey, can I just do road stuff, and I'll just get paid from the road? And then you were like, yeah, we'll do the road stuff, and then I'll also like throw you a little something extra. And I was like,
okay.
What? I was like, that's crazy. I was like, I just need the road money.
Okay, so you were cooking up clips, and you're obviously funny on stage, but you were like savvy with the stuff. I think from our conversations, I must have known. But you said something funny. I don't know where it was. I don't know if it was in Orlando.
It was in Addison.
You remember it?
100%.
Yeah. I remember the moment.
Because I was like,
oh, he's funny.
I made them laugh.
I remember it. Like, I had a feeling you were like clever, but you weren't shooting yet. And then we were driving on the highway, and there was a car that pulled up, and it was missing a bumper, and it was missing like a side panel, and then like there was like duct tape on one of the windows. And I look over like, damn, that car's fucked up. And then you were like, Virgil made it. or something. You were like, it was like Off-White, like it was an Off-White reference.
Yeah,
and this is when Off-White was like popping, and there was the deconstructed.
Yeah,
was it Jordans? It was that Jordan.
It was everything. Yeah. It was
but,
like the Air Maxes, all that stuff.
Yeah. And I remember you saying that. I was like, oh shit. I was like, that's kind of funny. Like to just think of that in the moment. Like, whoa.
Alex gave it a ta-ha.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh
no, you got like a big laugh, and like, and it wasn't even like I think the laugh wasn't even. I was like, oh wow, okay.
That's how I felt. I was like, oh, okay. I
guess
that was funny.
I remember that. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. And then, obviously, I was seeing, the stand-up I thought was funny. I must have, like, thought you were funny. I wouldn't take somebody on the road if I didn't, like, watch and think you were good. But I remember you saying that and, like, having, like, these funny, like, quips with us. And I was like, oh, he's funny. And then you understood the game. You definitely understood the game. Especially the way that we were playing it. Like, this is early on when, like, I was, like, at the cellar trying to convince comics to put things up on social media, and they're telling me, like, oh, no, you just got to go do Jimmy Kimmel or something. I'm just like, where does he put it?
Oh, that's another part of the story that's so funny. Is that I reposted something that you had on Instagram, and I was like, yo, I think Schulz changed the game with, like, his whole release strategy. I think YouTube is the move, da-da-da. And I put it on my story, and then you reposted it. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. And I think I messaged you. I DM'd you. I was like, hey, man, if you need any help, let me know. And then I don't think you read it. And then when I actually went on the road with you guys, I deleted those messages. I was like, oh, I don't want to. It's going to be so corny. He's going to be like, oh, this guy's so thirsty.
Oh,
so I just deleted him.
That's so funny.
But I saw the trajectory, and I was also making like YouTube.
Weren't you working with Sam or something, and Joe or
Joe
something?
Mackey and Phil Hanley.
Phil Hanley, that's right.
So I met Sam at a comedy festival like the summer before.
Oh, God.
And I was just like, hey, I was like listening to their pod. I was like,
joke's on you. Fucked up, guys. Fucked up big time. Most talented people in comedy you had right under your fingertips.
I was in Orlando. I was far away. And I was just like, yo, can I edit?
You were like editing their pod or something?
Yeah, I was like, can I help out with the pod?
But they didn't see it.
I was also distant. I was like still in college and stuff.
Now you got to see it, dude.
I mean,
listen, I give myself credit for a lot, but one thing I'll definitely give myself credit for: if you're talented, I can see it.
Yeah,
like I saw it quick. I was like, oh,
I mean, yeah, you plucked up Shifty from Home Depot.
Yep, you got Shifty, but you quick.
Yeah,
you quick, Shifty quick. Alex too. He was just like so eager, and like even though he couldn't do it yet, like I knew he would teach himself how to do it.
Yeah.
You know, like when he first started, it was like really rough, but I was like, oh, he just wants it bad.
I mean, even thinking about the early days of the content you guys were doing, even before I joined, insane. Now that I'm a little bit in that sort of like lane where I'm like, okay, you got to do pod during the day, then you got to cut stand up at night, da da da. I'm like talking to these guys. I'm like, yeah, I don't know how Alex did it,
bro.